Welcome to the Her Vibe is Pretty podcast, where you'll be guided on how to step up into your evolved woman,
design your dream life, and start living it. Let's get vibey. Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of Her Vibe is Pretty. Today's episode is a special holiday edition, and if you are watching on YouTube, you will see that Sarah and I are dressed in our Santa gear.
I want to mention, though, even if you're not listening around the holidays, there's still going to be so much goodness for you in here because honestly, Mary, like if you think about it, at least in the United States, you have Thanksgiving and then Christmas and then New Year's, but then you have Valentine's Day and then you have St. Patrick's Day and then you have like 4th of July. There's always something going on to celebrate. Mm-hmm. So even if you're not necessarily listening in December, I'm sure you're still going to find some goodness and wisdom here.
Absolutely. Yeah. So today's episode, we won't dive too deep yet because we want to talk about what we're feeling vibey about, but I'm really excited because yes, the things that we're going to cover today about the holidays, like that's kind of the example we're going to be using. However, these are all like lessons that you can use all the time.
Yeah.
So excited about that, but we'll dive in a second. Sarah, what are you feeling high vibe about this week?
I'm feeling high vibe because I just got back from New York City.
My God.
And okay, you guys know the song by Alicia Keys and who is it? Is it
Jay-Z?
Yeah.
New York.
Yes. So it's where big dreams are made of. There's nothing you can't do. Big lights will inspire you.
Yeah.
That is so true. The big lights will inspire you. I feel like I also manifested that because when I booked this trip to New York, that song was stuck in my head. However, I was so inspired being there. And it just felt really, really good to get away. It was my first trip in a while since the summer. And I am a traveler. I think it has to do with my astrology sign is an Aquarius. So if you're an Aquarius, know that our souls they crave travel. They're literally here to travel. And so it just felt good to get away and walk around the streets of New York City and live the city life. It was my first time there. And I was telling Mary that in my business, it's really easy for me to only focus on inspiring and impacting the world and making a difference in other humans and souls' lives, because that's what I'm really passionate about. And that's what I do. I show up every day with the intentions of doing that. And sometimes I forget that I also get to receive in exchange for giving. And sometimes I forget why I want to do this for me. I'm just like, why do I want to show up for this kind of a career? Why am I choosing this career choice for others? That's really where I put a lot of my energy. New York really reminded me why I'm also doing this for me and myself. It reminded me of my dreams and my desires and what I really want out of this life. So
yeah, I love that. There's so much energy in the big city. So I haven't been to New York since I was in high school. Mm-hmm. So it's been a long time.
Yeah.
But I definitely plan to visit soon. And I have a very close friend. One of my business partners is actually just moved there. So I'm really excited because this summer we're going to go visit him and his wife. Yeah. They just moved to Brooklyn and but I just remember about New York specifically, I loved the blend of like Times Square where you're just like surrounded by like so many tall buildings, so many people, like there's just such a vibe right there, but also Central Park where there's so much green and nature, like in the middle of a crazy, huge city.
Right. Well, and something I love about Central Park too, is just, it's a healthy community in general in New York because everybody walks everywhere, which I love that vibe. I'm actually selling my car. Did I tell you that?
No. Oh my gosh.
I'm literally, you guys know by now, I'm moving to Portugal for the winter and I do have a one-way flight. I mean, I don't really know what's going to happen, but I'm literally putting it out into the universe that I'm traveling, I'm selling my car. And I actually so I was telling Zach that even when I do eventually come back, I'd love to live in an area where I don't need my car. I love the idea of being able to walk everywhere. Yeah. And if you guys have ever lived in a town where you can walk everywhere, you know how nourishing that feels to your mind, body, and soul. So New York is just like a healthy community. And it also reminded me too of the value of having friends that are in alignment with your goals and your dreams. Because when I was there, I stayed with my friend Abby, and her and her boyfriend Peter are both business owners. And the entire weekend was full of high vibe conversations about
love that.
life and expansion and impact and quantum leaps and a blend of like life stuff too. And so it just felt really, really good coming home from that trip, feeling so inspired and lit up. And a part of it was definitely the people I was with, because I've definitely gone on vacations before too, to see people who just wanted to party the whole time I was there. And I'm at the point now where I don't engage in that anyway, but like, and not that partying is bad. Trust me. I love a good party here and there. Like I love some martinis for sure. And I actually had the best martini I've ever had in my life in New York City when I was there over the weekend. But I'm just saying there's so much value in having friends who are in alignment with your goals, your dreams, your desires, and where you're going.
Yeah, absolutely. You can have like, it kind of reminds me of things. We've mentioned this on the podcast too. Like sometimes you need to hear the same message in different ways. And when you're hanging out with people that are, doing this work, this like self-discovery, this self-growth, like they're focused on expanding their minds, taking care of their bodies, like they're consuming the same sort of things that you are, but they're consuming them in their own way. So then you guys have these epic conversations and you can talk about the same topic in so many different ways and different perspectives. And it's like, okay, I've always known that, but I've never thought of it this way.
Yeah.
And that's what I love, because I'm the same. Okay, so same friends, the ones that just moved to Brooklyn, when we're with them, I feel like all we do is have these deep conversations all the time about everything. And it's so refreshing and it's so powerful. So
I love it.
Around yourself, one more those kind of people.
I want to mention just one more thing. And then Mary, we're going to talk about what you're vibey about. I was actually telling Zach when I came home, I was telling him about what I'm about to tell you guys about. And I was like, I want to do an entire podcast episode on this, thinking that we should probably bring Arya back on when we do the topic of this. But when I was there, Abby's boyfriend is really big into investing, and investing your money is something that can be very valuable for your future, but it also can seem very intimidating for women. Right. And so me personally, I have been putting money aside for a while now to invest. And it's just been sitting there in my bank account because I was scared to invest before. I didn't know much about it. Well, Abby, she goes to Columbia in New York City, and she had this guest speaker come in, this woman who used to work on Wall Street, and she left there to start her own app. Her slogan or the motto is by women for women. It's an app that is specifically designed to help women get into investing.
I love that.
It's called Ellevest, ELLEVEST. Let me look it up real quick and make sure that's ELLEVEST. So you can join the subscription. I think you can pay either 3 month, 5 a month, or 9 a month. And you can it just teaches you everything you need to know about investing. There's trainings, there's seminars, there's worksheets you can download. There are coaches. If you have the subscription, you can get a discount on the coaching. It teaches you about investing. You can type in what day or how old you'd like to be when you retire and how much you'd like to have. And it tells you how much you should be investing every month in order to do that. It's just amazing. So if you're somebody who maybe wants to start investing, or maybe you're already doing it, but you don't know much about it, highly recommend looking up that app, because I did it and I finally took my money out of my bank account and invested it, and it feels so good.
Yay. Congratulations. Yeah.
And I feel empowered doing it,
So it's kind of interesting. And I feel like I do a lot of soul searching around this. What are my desires? What do I truly want out of life? And for me, it always comes down to, I want freedom. I don't want to have to do something that I don't want to do. If I really don't want to do something, I don't want to have to do it. And obviously, I say that pretty surface level because there's always little things you have to do. I don't like unloading the dishwasher, but I have to do that. But
one day you'll hire somebody to do it. So.
Yeah, exactly. But I will say, when it comes to desires of material things, right now, I feel like I'm in a place where I'm not desiring material things with my money anymore. I'm desiring more of that flexibility and that freedom. And that comes with investing. So yeah, I always feel so empowered when I'm able to take a chunk of money and put it into our investment account, or for a while, put it down on a rental property as a down payment. Totally. It's crazy because it's more money than you're used to putting towards anything, but it feels so good.
Right. And I'm loving it too, because one day, my goal is eventually I have a lot of goals in life, but one of my passions is helping women become wealthy. and helping. I feel like I'm pretty sure that there are stats, the wealthiest people in the world, if you look at them all, majority are men. And I just feel like more money in the hands of women would be a really, really good and healing thing for this world. Conversation for another day, but this is just like I love the idea of by women for women. This is an all woman run company, all about investing. So check it out. But anyway, Mary, let's move on to you. What is making you feel high vibe this week?
Yeah, I am feeling high vibe because Ava is sleeping so much better.
Woo!
I know. Like, seriously, can we all take a moment to just like celebrate together? Because I am a new person. I am reborn. I'm getting sleep at night. I mean, she's still waking up a little bit, but it is so much better than what it was. And I'm so relieved and happy about that. And it's been really interesting because she'll wake up a couple times early in the night. So I've kind of gotten into this little routine now. So other mamas out there can probably relate to this, where it's just so hard to get any alone time or like you time during the day when you're, with your babies or with your children. And it's hard to like unplug. Like, it's hard to have that moment. Like I do my best to try to squeeze that stuff in throughout the day, but it's always in such teeny tiny pieces that I feel like I never can really sink in. So I've been really missing that. And I have kind of gotten into this new routine. It's kind of funny. And we, like, Harry Potter fans will recognize this too, but at night I'll put her down. She always wakes up a couple times like early in the night. So I used to just go to sleep when she would go to sleep, but now I'm staying up a little bit later so that I can just be available when she needs needs me to comfort her to get her back to sleep. And so so while she's sleeping, I go into my walk-in closet and I like work from my closet because I can like shut the door. I can turn the lights on. Like, I had Jake run like a little outlet so I can have my computer in there. And I've been like journaling, and I've been working on like my bullet journal for the new year. And I've been doing like just some odds and ends with work, and it feels so good.
I'm so happy.
And I like laugh. I say Harry Potter fans, I'm like hanging out in a closet, like under the staircase, but no, it's good because then I'm just like right there. I can easily just like stop what I'm doing, go get her, versus like being downstairs. And I always like think I hear her cry, and it's not. It's just easier when I'm right there.
I love it.
And it's been good. Like, I've been doing a lot of journaling. So guys, this is like towards the end of the year. I always like to reflect on the past year and kind of like narrow down like what went really well, like what do I want to bring into the new year, like what energy, what feelings. And we did an episode last year about this, probably about a year ago, which is a really good one to listen to, but just really honing in on like what feelings do I want to cultivate in the new year. So I've been feeling vibey about like our new bedtime routine, and the fact that I'm just getting like a full night of sleep is like, don't take your sleep for granted, guys. Like, you just don't realize like how off you are and how just like emotional. And like, I feel like I'm a pretty patient person, but my patience can like just dwindle when I'm, not getting enough sleep. And so I'm feeling,
I love that. That's a good one for us to add to our gratitude list, because that's not one that I usually think of because I'm not a mom yet. So
yes.
I promise you, I will do my part and I will add sleep to my gratitude list tomorrow.
Yeah, no, you definitely should. You definitely should, like, take my word for it. It's something that I've always been a sleepy person. I always get a full night's sleep, but it's like one of those things that once it's not there, you're like, oh my God. So
I'm also very proud of you, and everybody, let's collect evidence here from what Mary is doing that we can do the same. You figured it out. Like, everything's figure outable.
Yep.
And you figured out this perfect scenario. Once upon a time, you're like, oh my gosh, I have a baby now. How am I going to do me? How am I going to work on myself? How am I going to do things that make me feel good? And you figured it out. And it looks really unique. That how it looks for you is, so when I was nannying, I would do that kind of stuff when he napped. And that is like the case for some moms. And for some moms, that's impossible to do. So like, you are just creating evidence. And for some moms, they can get up early before baby wakes up. And for some moms, once again, that's impossible. So what I'm trying to say is that you're doing it in your own unique way and it's working, and you figured it out, because there are so many times that people would just be like, oh, F this, like, I'm done trying, or would be so distraught about it that when the baby goes to sleep, they just like numb out until the baby wakes up again at 11. But like you are being so intentional about giving yourself the time and space, even though it's at night, even though it's late, you're putting you first. And that's very, very admirable.
Thank you. Thank you. It does. It's one of those things that feels really good. And so that's the last piece that I'll add to that is if you do feel like you're in that situation where you're still trying to figure it out, give yourself some grace. Know that you're going to have to trial and error a few different things, or at least I did. So if you do, that's okay. That's normal. And figure out a way that works and feels good for you, because this really works. I've been doing it for like this last week and I feel so much more refreshed. Yeah. And then the last thing I'll add, I've also been really inspired because I've been getting back in the groove of recording classes, which, oh my gosh. Okay. I need to share, you guys. We are going to be having a free yoga challenge on the app for January. So starting January 1st, I meant to announce this in the very beginning and forgot until now. I am working like a little crazy worker bee over here, recording so many amazing new classes for the Yoga Plus app. And we are going to have like a free challenge for January because it's such a good time of year to like reconnect to yourself, to do things that really fill your cup, really like soothe the soul and just do all good in every aspect of your life. We did it last year and we had like thousands and thousands and thousands of people that joined it. So definitely don't sleep on this. It's going to be starting January 1st, 2022. So I'll include a link, but yes, I've been recording. So I've been moving my body again and it feels so good.
My body feels juicy just hearing you say that.
Gosh. Like,
and you know what? I thought of your challenge right when I woke up this morning.
Did you really?
Yeah, I'm doing it because I woke up and I felt, so yesterday I got back into doing boot camp. I took last week off because I was on my moon and then I was traveling over the weekend. So I did boot camp yesterday. I woke up today feeling super tight and I did I just have it memorized by now. You have like a really short in bed yoga practice from the app. And so I thought of it and I started doing it in bed and I was like, I'm doing the January challenge because you had already told me about it, but I'm like, I need it. My body is literally craving that consistency with yoga again. I'm so excited for it. Yay. And I thought about it and then the mind was like, well, there's one day in January. So January 10th is when I'm going to be traveling all day long. And so I was going to ask you if I skip a day, if I can catch up, which you can answer that question. But I just thought of the fact that the Chicago airport has a yoga studio that we can use.
Does it really?
Yeah. It's like kind of sort of hidden, but I'm like, yes, I'm getting, and yoga is so good to get in when you're traveling because you're sitting for so long.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. You'll feel so much better on your flight. By doing that practice at the airport. How cool that they have a yoga studio.
I know, right?
Okay. 2 things then on that. Yes. If you miss a day, you can absolutely make it up. People do it all the time. How it works is like, once you complete like day 1, for example, it'll unlock day 2. And then once you do day 2, it'll unlock day 3. And so you just make your way down is the best you can, you know? So if you miss a day, it'll just stay on whatever day it is. And then you'll just unlock the next class as you complete it. Okay. The other thing I want to mention is you have the ability now to download the classes to your phone so that you can do them offline. So if you weren't going to have access to Wi-Fi and didn't want to like drain your, data usage, you can download the classes to your phone and then you'll have them available to practice with on the go.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yay. So exciting. Everybody join the challenge. Let's all do it together.
I know. I'm so excited. So that's been another thing. I've been feeling so much better because I'm actually moving my body again on a somewhat regular basis. Cause I mean, you guys, like 6, almost 7 months into my postpartum journey, yoga has been a teeny part of my life recently. And I miss it so much. And I can just feel such a difference. It's amazing. So okay, episode time.
Let's do it to it. I'm so excited. Your holiday survival guide.
So we want to share reminders and things to survive the holidays, to make the most of this really special and really incredible time that can sometimes feel really crazy, chaotic, and can sometimes just go by in such a flash that it's like, whoa, what even happened? So we love this time of year so much. And we wanted to share with you guys just ways that you can get the most out of it and just be your best self. And so Sarah and I both came up with 3 little tips that we will share with you. And Sarah, how about you just dive right into your first one?
I'd love to start. Tip number 1, make it easy for yourself.
Yes.
I feel like our minds are so good at making so many things hard. Seriously? Because we're addicted to the struggle as a society.
I was telling Jake this yesterday. What were we talking about? Ugh, mom brain. We were talking about something and I literally said this. I was like, that is a perfect example of your mind making this simple, easy situation way harder than it needs to be.
Yeah.
Way harder than it needs to be. Oh, okay. I remember actually tips. We were watching this documentary called The Alpinist. I might be saying that wrong. It's about this guy named Marc-Andre Leclerc, who is like one of the best solo free climbers in the world.
Whoa.
And it was such a good documentary. And I'm not really a documentary person. Jake's the documentary person. I'll watch him here and there, but this one was so good. The characters, the story, the way they structured everything was so interesting. It was not only just about climbing, but there were so many life lessons. And one of the things that he was saying in his, one of his like little interviews was like, life is really simple. Mm-hmm. And he was saying like, we don't need to complicate things. Like all I really need is enough food to live, like shelter, good friends, and a mountain to climb. Like that was kind of his thing. He's like, that's all I need. That's literally all I need. And he was like living in a stairwell for a while. He was like, him and his girlfriend like lived in a tent for a while. They were like, all we want to do is climb. And that's what I was saying to Jake. I was like, our minds make things so much more complex and complicated than they need to be. Yeah. Like when you really sit down, it's like, what do I really need? And like, that's a really good journaling prompt to just like, what do I really need? And like, simplify it. Like, it doesn't need to be this crazy complex thing that our minds like to make it, like the holidays. So,
okay. Couple things. So first, it's called the Alpinist.
Let me look it up.
Look it up because fun fact, I don't know if I've told you this yet. I want to get into climbing when I go to Portugal. That's like one of my things. Yeah. I have this like deep desire right now to get into climbing. So I'm going to watch it.
The Alpinist.
Okay.
The Alpinist.
So yeah, I want to get climbing. I want to watch it. I do want to say that.
Google anything. Don't Google anything before you watch it. Because there are a couple little like curves that they throw in the whole thing. And it was just a roller coaster of a show.
Okay. I love it. I can't wait. But I do want to say, I agree. And I love the journaling prompt. Like, what do I need? And you all know that I'm here to be your person to also tell you it's okay to want more. And this is actually, we're going to go back to making it easy for yourself, because I feel like you can desire more and make it easier for yourself, because yes, we all have things we need. And go back to our episode with Christy Whitman, your desires are also divine. So you probably have everything you actually need right now. And if you don't have greater desires, in my opinion, and like, you could say that they have the desire of climbing bigger rocks and higher rocks and more challenging mountains. And so it's like, they do have a desire. It just might look different than other people's desires. Mm-hmm. One of my desires, shamelessly, is the Gucci bag. I was in Saks Fifth Avenue in Gucci and I saw this beautiful bag. That's one of my desires. And it's not really about the desire in itself. It's about who I'm going to become in the acquirement of the Gucci bag. Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Get it, girl.
I completely agree though, that like, and obviously this is my tip, make things easier for yourself. What I mean by that, when I'm talking about the holidays, is like, use Amazon, order stuff. I think there's this belief that, oh my gosh, it's the holidays, I have to get all my shopping done. It's going to take hours and hours. I'm going to have to go out and about. I'm going to have to drive. Like, this was literally me just a couple of days ago, which is why I'm saying this. I have to drive to Grand Rapids and I have to go shopping there, which is like 40-ish minutes from me. I have to go here and then return this thing. Like, the mind was just trying to make this stuff so hard, but it doesn't need to be. Amazon stuff, order stuff. How else can we make the holidays easier for ourselves?
I mean, again, like the holidays,
1 cookie party instead of 5. Like, you don't need to do cookie parties with every single friend and every single, like, just make it easier for yourself in whatever way you can. Agree.
I mean, that's kind of been our motto with having Ava. So again, not a holiday example necessarily, but for us, like, yeah, we kind of look at like, what are the things that are feeling really heavy and really overwhelming, and how can we simplify them and make them easier for ourselves? And so some examples in that aspect were like meal prepping and freezing meals ahead of time, so that we had food that we could just pop in the oven and it's delicious and yummy, but it's already made, or get groceries delivered. Or I think for the holidays, like catering, like, don't make it easy on yourself. Like, you don't have to cook and prepare everything and it has to be like, you need to do all the work. Like there are ways that you can outsource some of these things. And like, if you struggle, like this is something that I struggle with when it comes to making things easy for myself. I think like, well, I can just do it. I can save money because I can just do it. And let me please be the example. Like the things that I've invested my money in recently to make my life easier have been the best money I have spent.
Absolutely. Always.
The best money I have spent.
Always. Yeah.
And it's hard. Like, I know that's one of my blocks or like mindsets is like, if I can do it, like I shouldn't be having someone else do it. And that is not always the case.
Yeah. Lean into abundance there, because even I was thinking with ordering stuff, shipping, like pay the $5 for shipping instead of having to drive 40 minutes, go shopping, do the crowds, do the lines, drive back. And you might enjoy that. Like we're definitely going to go do some Christmas shopping, but going back to something else you said. So ask for help. A lot of times we get caught up. Oh, well, if I buy a pumpkin pie rather than make it, it's not going to be as good. That's not true. That's a limiting belief. Same with gifts. I've found myself this season thinking, oh, it needs to be unique. It needs to be special for each person. No, it doesn't. Gifts are not easy all the time for adults. Sometimes it is, and sometimes it's not. And there will be seasons and Christmases where you are the best gift giver. And then there will be seasons where you're not, and that's okay. Like gift cards are amazing. Think about how much you appreciate a good gift card. Like, gosh, even just like a $10 gift card to Amazon. I'm like, hell yes. That's $10 off of the collagen I buy or whatever it is. So make it easy for yourself in whatever way you can. Literally just ask yourself the question, how can I make the holidays easier for myself right now? And find your answer and do it.
Those things. I love it. I love it. That's so good. All right.
Give us one of your tips.
Okay. So my first one is to enjoy the little things and like allow yourself and give yourself that permission to like get comfy and cozy. Yeah. So again, I think that our minds make everything more complicated than they need to be. And so this is your reminder to enjoy the little things. Like take that moment to breathe, enjoy your cup of coffee, your cup of tea in the morning, bake a really yummy, nourishing, warm meal and enjoy every single bite. Like when you're spending time with your family, your loved ones, like put your phone away and like really be present and enjoy those little special moments, because the holidays and any like busy time can go by in such a flash. And that's one of the best ways, in my opinion, of like tuning in, being present and being mindful and like really soaking in the goodness of the like the little things that come with the season. So like another example this morning, I woke up and it looked like we were in a snow globe. And so I took a few moments, like holding Ava at the window and just like allowed myself to enjoy the beautiful snow this morning.
I love that. We were on the same vibe, because that's what I was going to add in here is if you live in a place that gets snow, enjoying the stillness and the softness and the magic of the snow. I did the same thing this morning. I woke up and I was so happy to see it was snowing. And I turned myself around because I have two windows in my bedroom. One of them, I couldn't see the snow very well. The one behind me, I could. So I took the time to position myself so I could watch the snow fall. And I took breaks from reading to just watch it fall as I was sipping my coffee. And I was so immersed in the moment and it felt so magical. So yes. And I love what you say too about putting your phone away. Seriously, keep your phone in your purse. Like take the pictures, take the holiday pictures, or have somebody airdrop you the family photo that they take, and keep your phone away and open your heart and just, dive in and be grateful for little things. So for me, something I'm thinking of is Zach has nephews and they have so much fun. They're in the age of having so much fun opening gifts and seeing what they got. If you have kids in your family, take the time to just be with the, presence of these kids opening the gifts and people laughing and just, enjoy little things.
Feed into that energy. Like that's the thing is like, it's there and you get to choose like what you're paying attention to and what you want to create more of in your holiday experience. Exactly. Another simple example that comes to mind for me is like lighting holiday candles and just enjoying that vibe, like in your space, like set the vibe, like get cozy, get those cozy blankets, get that cozy, like sweatshirt, sweatpants, whatever. And like enjoy that moment. So
I love it.
That's my first tip.
Okay. My second one is keep prioritizing yourself. I got on a little bit of rant about this one with Mary before we started recording. And I'm not ranting to make you feel bad, but rather to inspire you, because trust me when I say that I am 100% guilty of doing what I'm about to say until now, because I'm definitely more intentional about it because I've already had this realization. Keep prioritizing yourself, meaning keep doing you first. So I was on a masterclass with one of my favorite mentors last week, and she said, I know you guys are busy. I know the holidays are coming up. I know there's a lot going on. I know that there's like a lot of craziness and chaos in your life right now, but I'm really inviting you to show up for this masterclass. It was a 3-day masterclass. I'm really inviting you to show up live in the live energy. And I understand what she's saying. And I do want to honor and acknowledge that, of course, and I'm looking at my life right now, these next couple of weeks. I went to New York City last week. I have a friend visiting this weekend. The following weekend, we have our nephew's second birthday party. We have my mom's boyfriend's family Christmas, another ugly sweater party. The weekend after that, we have parties. I get that there's more things happening. And when she said that, I was like, yes and no, because even though there are more events to be at, first of all, events are usually taking place on the weekends. And we usually have plans on the weekends anyway, when it's not the holidays. Secondly, I thought of the fact that, okay, you could sit here and say, I don't have time to do the things that make me feel good. I don't have time to do my morning routine, my evening routine. I don't have time to cook for myself, to nourish my body. I don't have time to do my coursework. I don't have time to watch the masterclass. I don't have time to watch the module. And I want to ask you, think about the holiday season. How many Christmas movies do you watch? How much are you on your phone scrolling because you have the day off of work or because you're bored at a family party?
Right.
Just start to actually get real with yourself on, okay, I'm sitting here saying I can't put myself first and I can't keep up with my practices because there's so much going on, but I want you to look at how much you're still not wasting time, because I'm not saying I love Christmas movies. I freaking love Christmas movies. Of course, watch the Christmas movies. Of course, get on social media and, see what other people are doing for the holidays and watch them cut down their tree. Beautiful. And be intentional about it. You have time. We all still have the same amount of time. Yes, there are more parties. And I believe that a lot of us are off work a lot more during the holidays. So take advantage of the time you're off work and be intentional about still putting some time into you. That will make it. I just can't get over so Thanksgiving, I intentionally did a very deep morning routine. And I was so intentional about my morning space and protecting my energy before the party. And it changed the freaking game.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So keep doing you. New Year's is coming. And obviously we'll have an episode on New Year's resolutions and whatnot. But if you just totally stop prioritizing yourself right now and you just say, well, I don't have enough time to do me because it's the holidays, it's going to be a real struggle to set New Year's goals, to set New Year's intentions, to feel good about yourself in the new year. So you have the opportunity to keep prioritizing yourself. And part of that too is leave parties early. You don't have to, because I'm already thinking of the ugly sweater party we're invited to. We don't have to drink. We don't have to get drunk. We don't have to stay super late. We can go for a couple hours and then leave early so that we can wake up the next morning feeling good and feeling energized and alive and aligned. So yeah, keep prioritizing yourself.
Yeah.
There's no excuses to not.
What comes to mind for me about this is that idea that you get to choose how you look at the situation. So do you choose to feel like, oh, I don't have enough time. I've got so many things going on. I can't do these practices that I really want to be including. Or do you choose to look at it like I have more time off work? So I have time in the mornings, I have time in the evenings. Like I get to choose how long I stay or whether I drink or not, or whatever. I mean, again, if you're feeling like, hey, I want to go out there and party and live it up, like freaking do the damn thing, sleep in the next day. But if that doesn't feel aligning for your heart and soul, like do what feels aligning for you. Like, again, prioritize you. Don't do things because you feel like other people want you to do them or like you quote unquote should be doing them. Do what feels aligning for you. And you get to choose. Do you have time or do you not have time?
Right.
You literally get to choose how you take a look at the holiday situation.
Exactly.
So I love that. And that actually goes hand in hand with my second tip, which is to give yourself some space and get extra sleep. So this one kind of, if I have to whittle it down into one word, like freaking rest. you guys. Rest, rest, rest.
Mm-hmm.
You need it now more than ever. I feel like winter and the holiday season, like it's getting colder, it's getting darker. Like our bodies need more rest this time of year. And when there does seem to be a lot more going on, sometimes we don't give ourselves that space.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is like a short and sweet one, just that gentle reminder to give yourself space to rest.
Mm-hmm.
It is okay. Give yourself time to sleep, go to bed early, sleep in, whatever works for you. But it's okay to not be go, go, go all the time. Like that is just going to drain you. It's just going to wear you out. It's just going to burn you out. Instead, try to like, and I know for me, what's really helpful is almost like scheduling in my day. Like we talked about this in Jamie's episode with Jamie Varon about like, don't have such like an action-packed day every single day. Like, hi, I am so guilty of doing that. Give yourself like space between things, whether that's like a day space or whether that's like a couple hours in between tasks, but pencil that in for yourself. And I think you'll be amazed at how good and refreshed you'll feel and just more at ease during the end of the year. And to me, that's going to like just set you up for perfect alignment going into the new year.
Yeah. And so this is something that I'll talk about eventually. My trauma coach and I have been talking about genuine rest and what it means to actually rest. And so reflect on that too. Like, what is genuine rest? Is genuine rest watching a movie, or is genuine rest taking a bath with your phone completely turned off and all technology off? For her, she was telling me that genuine rest for her was, for a long time in her life, she would go home and light a fire and literally just stare at the fire for 45 minutes. And that's when she felt the most rejuvenated. I feel like in our society today, and she even called me out on it. I'm glad that she did. She was like, are you, and I will say that both are right. There was a part of me that was still doing this with a schedule. And then there was also a part of me that was doing this to rest. But she's like, when you take your baths, are you doing it to post it on social media, to post a story and be like, hey, I'm taking a bath. Look, I'm proving that I'm resting and you should rest too. Is there agenda? Or are you able to just take a bath, just to take a bath, just to rest? And like I said, I would say both is true. I do like storying my rest time to inspire others to do the same. But there are some times that I'm like, I feel the pressure of like, I'm taking a bath to rest, but I have to do a story first. But I have to make sure I post something inspiring with this. There's still an agenda to it.
Yeah. I resonate with that. And so for me, it's when I am with Ava and she's sleeping on me, I am trying so hard to genuinely rest with her.
I love that.
Instead of feeling like she's asleep. So I'm going to try to do something now while she's sleeping.
Right.
Instead of like, oh, one of my like Instagram mom friends posted this. I'm going to try not to cry when I say it, but she was like, here I go. She was like, there's going to come a day when they like don't sleep on you. And then I'm going to wish, like, she was like, there's a million other things I could be doing right now, but I'm going to be in this moment because there's going to be a time that she doesn't do this. I'm going to like wish that she did. And I feel that so hard because I feel like I'm getting to that cusp of like, we still do it, but like not as often.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I need to unplug during these times. Like I need to unplug during these times and be in this moment because this moment is so special. It's so precious. And who knows how many more I'm going to have.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, you guys.
And like you bring up a good point too, going back to our last tip, which was to put your phone away during holiday parties. I mean, you never know what's going to be different next year. I mean, this year is the first year that I don't have my grandma, who I was very close with. And last year, none of us knew, none of us ever would have guessed that she wouldn't be here for this Christmas. Right. All of us thought she had at least 10 more years on this earth. So enjoy the moments when you can. And yeah, I mean, we're kind of going back to the last tip, but think about what genuine rest means to you, because a lot of the times we have rest with an agenda, like, oh, I'm going to rest, but I need to catch up on my show. Like I'm really behind on my show, so I got to catch up on my show. Like there's an agenda there. Oh, I'm going to rest, but I have to like check in on my social media and like how am I posted? There's an agenda there. Like how can you, and maybe some of those things do feel like rest and that's okay, but just ask yourself, am I genuinely resting?
Yeah.
Or am I treating my rest and as like like a checklist and a to-do. Because if you're feeling like, oh, gotta rest, it's a checklist item, it's probably not super genuine. So just diving into how you can make that seem a little bit more genuine.
I love that so much. That's such a good point.
Yeah. Okay. Am I on my last one? Are we moving on?
You're on your last one.
So my last tip for you guys is know that what others think, what others say, what others do is a direct reflection of themselves and their internal state, their internal struggles, their internal pain. It has nothing to do with you. Usually the holidays come, and when you guys are listening to this, like Christmas is in a few days and New Year's is coming up, and there's usually a lot of parties in between. Typically the holidays come with seeing a lot of family. Sometimes they don't, but sometimes they do come with seeing more family, seeing more people, maybe seeing more friends, maybe just being around more strangers out in the stores. I want you to remember that what people say, think, and do have nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. Now, of course, if you're triggered by what they say, think, or do, you get to do some, internal work there. And we have a whole episode on triggers for you guys, back episode 13, I think it was. But just remember that there are going to be comments made that don't align with your values and your beliefs, and that's okay. Do your best to separate other people's words, thoughts, actions, belief. Like I guarantee you, I didn't talk about this on here, I don't think, but I talked about it today. I did a live this morning with my friend Jamie, and we were talking about triggers. And I was sharing with everybody how I had a comment recently about how everybody is super concerned about me and my relationship and what's going to happen with my relationship when I leave. And there are a bunch of people in our, family and friend group that are talking about us and our relationship. And we've kind of known, which has been like annoying because it's like our relationship, not theirs, our life, not theirs. But it is what it is. People are going to say, do think how they want to. It's just really important for us to keep putting ourselves first. And for me to follow my dreams and desires, regardless of what other people think I should do. And so I know that it's probably going to get brought up in the holiday parties. The topic of me leaving and living in Portugal for the winter is probably going to get brought up. So I get to remember that people's thoughts and opinions on it have nothing to do with me and everything to do with them and their limiting beliefs. And maybe deep down, they wish they had the courage to follow dreams that they don't feel like they can follow because they're in a relationship. Like they're limiting themselves. So I just need to remember, as do all of you, that what people say and think about you, and if people are commenting on what you're eating or what you're not eating, it has everything to do with them and nothing to do with you. So just remember that.
Yeah, that's such a good reminder for all of life. Mm-hmm. And yeah, whenever you like, one of the sayings that I go back to when I'm either like watching the news or like reading comments on Facebook is like, hurt people. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't make it okay to hurt people, but it's like, it's so hard to kind of forget that something led this person to feel this way or to feel that need to say something. Or, I mean, it could be big things, it could be little things, but it's just such a good reminder in life, if anything, to like have more grace for those people. Right. And to know that like they're coming from most likely a hurt place themselves. Right. It is a direct reflection of them, not of you. Mm-hmm. So you get to practice that superpower of like being that mirror for the person, because it does not have anything to do with you. Nope. That's so good. My last tip is to take the pressure off of yourself. This has been a big theme for me in life lately. It's been a big theme in a lot of the yoga classes that I've been recording, is to take that pressure off of yourself for things to look or feel or be a certain way. Allow yourself to let things unfold. Allow yourself, like we said, to make things easy and flowy and fun. And when you feel like you are putting this pressure to do things a certain way, to get all these things you quote unquote should be getting done, like we keep going back to this. It's like the mind's way of complicating things. So I want you to ask yourself, what is something that I am putting pressure on myself, and how can I let that go? And do that. Like you deserve it. Like you deserve to not be adding more pressure to yourself when it comes to attending parties, what you're going to wear, like decorating your house, you know, all the presents you're going to be getting, like take the pressure off of yourself. It's all going to be okay. It's all going to be fun. It's all going to be great, regardless of like things being so perfect and having to do it all by a certain time. Like take a deep breath and let it go.
I love it. Yes. So good. What a great way to wrap this episode.
Yeah. So
there you have it, your holiday survival guide. We hope this was helpful for you guys. I'm sure that you were able to take away something, and whatever that was, we would love to know. So make sure you message us on Instagram or share this episode to your story if you feel like those following you could benefit from it. Share your greatest takeaway in our Facebook group. Connect with us in all the ways. We love hearing from you guys. Like we really, really, really do love it.
Yeah. Your guys' messages mean the world. Like I've literally gotten teary-eyed a couple times, like reading. I mean, when do I not get teary-eyed these days? But your messages mean so much. And I feel like it just makes this community so much deeper and so much more real, knowing that real people are here. Like we are in this together. Like we are all just trying to live our biggest, grandest, best lives together. So, you know, yeah, like you're not alone. We are here for you and we love hearing from you. So don't be strangers. Join our Instagram group, at Her Vibe is Pretty Podcast. Join our Facebook group. Such a good place to connect with other like-minded people, like we were talking about earlier. And then, yeah, if you guys are finding value from this episode or other episodes, please rate and review us in the podcast app. You guys don't even understand. That is like hands down the best way that you can support this podcast. It helps us spread the word. It helps us be found and seen by other people and helps us like spread all the good vibes in the world.
If you can give us a Christmas gift this year, you guys, it's that, a rate and review.
Yes.
Oh, and one more thing I want to mention, if you're still listening, our Her Vibe is Pretty cruise are a great Christmas present. So one of our listeners actually messaged me the other day and said that she bought one for her daughter for Christmas, which I love. Her daughter's 10. So great Christmas gift. So if you need any ideas for your vibey friends, go to our website, hervibeispretty.com. Go to shop and order. I'm actually wearing one right now. If you're watching,
I was going to say they come in red, which is like so perfect for the holidays. So
I'm wearing the Pretty Vibe Tribe one. So
super cute.
Go get them. And we will see you next week on the Her Vibe is Pretty podcast.
Bye.
Bye.